Mrs. Ramya, ready for the welcome?
Sorry, sir?
Ready for the welcome?
Yes, sir, I'm ready for the welcome.
Okay, all the best.
Ramya ma'am, has Ashwini sir joined? Ramya ma'am,
Yes, ma'am.
has Ashwini sir joined?
Ashwini sir has not yet joined.
Can somebody just cross check quickly? Not you, anybody else, because you need to give the welcome speech.
So how many joined? 40.
40 has joined.
Should we wait for 5 more minutes?
It's already, this is 33.
Ashwini sir will be joining now.
Eh?
Ashwini sir will be joining now.
Ajay, you'll be joining.
Yes.
So shall we start once he joins, sir?
I suppose you know that otherwise it will be too late, Once we have given the schedule, suppose anyway that 5 minutes delay, already we have.
Yeah, he is here. So Ramya ma'am, please.
Shall we begin, ma'am?
Yes, please.
Good.
We are starting with a silent prayer, right?
Yes,
Yes,
Shonika ma'am will take over from here.
every morning, the sun rises with endless possibilities that give you endless opportunities to begin and to create a brand new life. Respected Chairman, Principal, Vice Principal, Vice President Resonance Quota, Mr. Ajay Nagar, Center Head, Mr. Ashwini Sharma, and other eminent dignitaries of Resonance team, Board of Directors, section coordinators, parents, and my loving students. A pleasant evening to all. A cordial welcome to everyone to the session. The webinar on Measuring Possibilities by Mr. Ajay Nagar, Vice President, Resonance Quota. To begin with, let's invoke the blessings of God Almighty with a silent prayer. I request everyone for the silent prayer. Thank you all. Now let me invite Ms. Remya Palakal, Coordinator Resonance, Holy Grace Academy Mala, to welcome the gathering. Ma'am, please.
Thank you. It gives me immense pleasure to start this occasion by heartily welcoming all the participants who took out their valuable time to be a part of this webinar. Let me first introduce and welcome the Vice President of Resonance Quota, who has passed out from IIT Roorkee and is a certified project management professional. He has over 20 years of experience working with various MNCs in India and the United States. Moreover, he is an extraordinary speaker, motivator, and counselor for students of various ethnicities. We welcome you, sir. Now, I would like to welcome the chairman of Holy Grace Academy, a true visionary, Advocate Clemens Totapilli. We welcome you, sir. Now, let me welcome our pillars of strength, the directors of Holy Grace Academy, our leader, our principal, Mr. Joseph Alumkar, Vice Principal, the bold and beautiful Livia Madam, Resonance Thrissur Center Head, Mr. Ashwini Sharma, faculties of Resonance and Holy Grace. I welcome you all. Finally, let me welcome the worthy parents, beloved students, and all the fresh new faces who has joined here for the webinar. We are organizing such webinars to enlighten the young minds and promote the participation of students at all levels. I hope today's session on measuring possibilities to achieve your true potential inspires ideas and discussions around the ways that we make it a huge success. Once again, a big warm welcome to each one of you present here. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for your warm words of welcome. And now it's time to lend our ears to Mr. Ajay Nagar, Vice President, Resonance Quota. Sir, please.
Hello, everyone. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I'm glad I'm audible. Is it possible to give me the access so that I can actually screencast? I have a presentation also, which will be really helpful in taking everybody along with the journey that I want to take.
Absolutely. Praveen sir, please. Shikala ma'am, would you coordinate?
Yes, ma'am. Sadir sir is host.
Sharing has been enabled.
Okay, thank you. Can everybody see the screen?
Yes, yes, sir.
Let me just take it up top. Okay. So we're all set, I guess. So let's get started for today's session, Measuring Possibilities. This is one of the sessions that, to be honest, was solely created for Holy Grace a while back, but I always take fond memories of creating this for the students for Holy Grace, and this certainly gives me a very good vibe as to giving a very clear picture of what can be achieved if we have the right focus, we have the right mindset. So this is how it flows, and let me get started with measuring possibilities. 1 second. Let me start about me. My introduction has already been given. I'm a pass out from IIT Roorkee in the year 2001, way back. Feels like I'm still young, but still, yeah, it's been a long time. I've passed out from Roorkee. I worked in many multinational companies. I've worked in the US for about 8+ years. I'm a certified project manager. I'm currently vice president at Resonance for their IT and their PCCP, and then there are multiple business strategy decisions that I kind of take. Motto of my life, as has been given, to be a better human being than what I was yesterday. This gives my professional outlook, I would say, but not the true picture of who I am. Let me get started a little ahead. So I was a national squash player. I was a national swimmer. I got selected in IIT. I am a singer of a band. I am a lyricist of a band, so I write also. And I do all these things and much more, just kind of maintaining the balance. And that's a difficult thing in today's world, especially students who feel that, oh, we are destined for this plan A, and they're like, I don't know why my parents do not understand this. There is a gap between what parents want versus what our students really feel. I think so. This session can certainly give them and enlighten them as to let's think outside the box and let's look at what we have, the tools we have with us in today's world. And these tools have been with us for quite some time. And finally, measuring the really true potential of that lies in you. So let's get started. For this session, I have what I've mentioned is please be as interactive as you can be in this condition where we are really talking online. You can raise your hand via Zoom, and I'll be taking questions in the end. Raise a hand if you're able to relate to a feeling and the situation that I'm talking about. At least that would acknowledge me. It will give me a vibe that, yes, whatever I'm suggesting, it has happened to you. That's something that I always say. Questions will be taken in the end, as I suggested earlier. And if you're really eager to ask a question, then just type it out. I will certainly look at it when I can. But for now, I think so it's about time that we get started with the presentation. So let me start with a very simple perspective, something that we all have been studying, adjectives, okay? We have about 273,000 words in the dictionary, about 50,000 are adjective, give or take a few. There is a problem in these 50,000 words. You know what that problem is? The problem is just one word, measurability. The measurability is not there. For example, let's take love. Let's take hatred, fear, anxiety, and I can name many, plenty. And there are so many words we do not have. I cannot say, oh, I hate you like 2 kgs. No, there's no dimension for that. I cannot say, can you, I had a lovely dream. But what is lovely for me? I don't know. Again, there is no measurability criteria. But in all my life, there was one adjective that I thought has a true significance, that I was like, oh, I know what this is. I could measure that. And that one word, one adjective that I really saw was silence. Silence was one adjective that gave me a very clear perspective as to, okay, this is one adjective. I know what you really mean, silence. Okay. But there is a catch to it. The catch was, for me, the spelling of silence was not the one shown to you. The spelling of silence was silence, which practically meant for me scientific lens. I always had this perspective that I was able to do multiple things, multiple facets of life. I could play around, I could do multiple things, and people used to ask me, oh, you are pretty talented in this and that. And I always used to say, that's not the case. That's not true, actually. The one talent that I really had was I was able to observe things to the core. I am a very good observer, and I was able to learn from observations. So that's the core key that I really felt that really made me do things and give me an edge, I would say, in really getting to know, getting to do, and experience various things in life. So that's my scientific lens. And with this, let's come to you as students and try to bridge the gap between how things are working for you today. So today, the times are pretty strange. For the past 2 years, we have been struggling with this pandemic situation. And you know how the students, and again, as I said, in the rules and requests, if you feel that I can, you're relating to what I'm suggesting, you can raise your hand. At least that would give me an understanding as to, today the students are really stuck between what to do because they have to stay at home. Whenever they get an opportunity, they try to expose themselves with whatever they have to learn. But at the same time, the time is going by. This time is going by, and this time is never going to come back. I mean, the governments can cancel the exam. The governments can say, "Oh, you know what? This year this is not going to happen." But guess what? 1 year is gone. It's just that it's. I don't want to say it's an irony. It's the reality of life. This time that is going by will never come back. And the complaints that the students have, you as individuals have today is, what about my fun? What about my friends? I'm not able to talk to them. I'm not able to meet them. What about my gossips? The parties that I wanted to go to, my send-offs, my screams, my side of the story. It's all about my, you see this common word, my here. In measuring possibilities, the word my does not stand a chance. Whenever you are thinking of my, the problem will start with my and end with my. And that's where it's like, I would rather request you all as students to think about how you can take a journey from my to I. It's purely your individuality. The I stands for that individuality that you really have to understand and really make good use of this time. And let's look at why I'm suggesting this to you. See, we all are blessed with 24 hours a day. You might have heard this thing, many a times, but it's about how you can convince your body to really get something out on that specific day. And that's a tricky art. It's like doing that one thing at a time every single day, going on and on and on, whether it be online classes, whether it be offline classes, doing your homework. It's kind of repetitive, but yeah, that's the reality. And this is where we have certain tools for measuring possibilities. It's like, how do you define, how do you look at I? So you can nourish your I, you can really take a leap of faith on certain tools. I call it psychological tools. You can say it's psychological tools, or you can say, it's talent pools actually, if you really understand the word talent. So these are talent pools. So let me start with, I've just covered a couple of them, but yes, these are the most important ones. That's what I felt in my journey till today, is as whatever I am today. So that's how I was able to understand and really evolve myself to really understand what is my true potential. So I'm just sharing my journey with you. So first tool, or a talent pool, as I say, that comes to my mind is persistence. Now, persistence, the word, I understand, you would be thinking, great, persistence, I know the meaning. I just have to keep on doing the thing again and again. I just have to go on and on. Yeah, that's true. So let me share a story. It's a true story, by the way. So when I was in class 8, actually in class 7, sometime in class 7th, 8th, I was acknowledged to have very good reflexes, that's where my training for squash started. So every morning I used to wake up at 5. I was in a boarding school, by the way. So I used to wake up in the morning at 5, go for a 7-kilometer run. After running 7 kilometers, I used to come back, play badminton for whatever time after a little bit of exercises. So I used to play badminton just to flex out muscles and stuff. It had 15 minutes to get ready so that I could join the line. Otherwise, I will be missing my breakfast. That's another problem. Missing your breakfast after so much of workout. Going to the school, in the recess time, going to, again, to the mess so that I can have something in the middle. About 1:30, the school used to get over. 1:30 to about 2:15, I used to have my lunch. 2:15 to about 3:30, I had time to do my homework if something was pending. Or I had time that I could really. Can we mute all if that's okay? Okay. So now in this journey, somewhere around 4 o'clock, I had to reach my ground, the destination, where for 45 minutes I had to do flexibility and exercises and other exercises that I can really function properly. After taking a rest of another 15 minutes, that is about 4:45 to 5, taking 15 minutes rest, I had to go for a swim. So 45 minutes of swimming, where I could not stop. Otherwise, the coach is gonna kind of drown me in a way, you know. So after that, another 15 minutes going into that fixture, I was asked to play from 6 to 7, and that 1 hour I had to play. I literally had no energy left in me, but every day I was like, okay, you know what, I really have to play. And I used to try to perform whatever I can. Finally, the day used to end after studying for an hour or two, maybe, if whatever time I could get, complete my homework, working it out. But that's not persistence. Persistence is, I did this for about 2.5 years, continuously every single day. Even if there was a holiday, I was kind of managing it out. So stating out, like, you know what, I have to be in shape. I have to continue doing this. I have to continue doing this, just so that I can play my nationals. So that's persistence for you. Now, coming to the education system that we have today, how we can apply this persistence. It's all about doing small bits every single day, and that will take you places. And that's where I always suggest, you know, we should have a program that is disciplined, the program that can give you an edge, an understanding of what really is required for you, or you get exposed to it. It's like, let me try it out. Maybe I'm meant for it, maybe I'm not. I mean, nobody, but at least try it out so that we can understand whether you are meant for it or not. And that gives a very good understanding where we can apply some persistence. It's not like, oh, I have to decide it in a day. No, it's not like I just have one day to just explore the possibilities that what I can achieve. No, one day is not sufficient. What we mean is, let's try to be part of a program and then see whether you fit into that or not, or that's something for you or not. At least be prepared for plan B. And I say, you know, I have met students back in Dubai, back in multiple places in the Gulf, in Bahrain also, where, oh, sir, I want to be a movie star. Okay, great. Or I want to be this, or I want to be that. Great. That's your plan A. But my parents say that you should study this also, you should study that also. Everything is fine, whether you want to be an actor, you want to be a singer, you want to be whatever you want to be. The basics remain the same. In the end, if people are talking about you when you're not around, they should at least say, you know what, the person has common sense. The fundamental blocks of understanding where we are, what we are, start at a very tender age. And that's where we always suggest, let's start early. We say that, and there are reasons for that, and we'll talk about it. Let's look at the next tool that I want to bring to everybody's attention. The next tool is, oh, before I go to the next tool, I think I forgot to mention this one. So why should I train early? And this is where I was heading to, and I thought, you know, where it is. So why should I, you know, learn early? So that I can do justice to my potential. Now, you would be saying, okay, great. I can do justice to my potential, but I don't know the possibilities. And that's where a program can help you out. There are devised programs. There are things where your skill can be nurtured so that you can understand whether you really are fit for that specific thing or not. So it's like, you know, as I shared, I was into a program where I was learning squash, and the same time I was training myself. And that's the reality. Let's expose ourselves to something which is a disciplined, definite program, so that we can measure that the outcome is what is really at par with what is expected or not. And the second thing, why should I learn early, is learning correctly. I can tell you that today, YouTube is full and flooded with the things that you really see. Everything that you want to learn is there on YouTube, okay? And people come to me, sir, why should I do this? I can actually go to a YouTube and I can learn this and I can learn that. Great. I'm not sure, and I'm not denying that you will not learn, but the problem is, are you learning correctly? What about the person? Did the person really understand it to the core, that he knows what it is or what the person has been? I can tell you about about 99% of the channels or the videos that they show you, they just cover the surface. Whenever we talk about more complexity, they are literally like, well, either they do not cover it or they cover it and then that's wrong. And that's the reality. So that's why I say YouTube is not the right channel, I would say. And I'm talking about any person, and it's again open to interpretation. I would not want to go there, but yeah, learning correctly is what is really important. Learning correctly is because what medium, what way would you learn otherwise? Or if not, then you learn incorrectly. That's another way. So let's look at, but why train early? And that's another thing, like why early? The core essence remains that if you learn early, number one, you have an exposure. Now, life is all about exposure, believe me or not. It's about, so my father was in army. So yes, I was accustomed to the disciplinary things all along from the very get-go. Was fortunate enough because, yes, I got an exposure to play squash at a very tender age also. So that's another thing, that's an exposure. Exposure gives us a possibility to look out, especially, and that's where I always suggest that you should try things out, never be afraid of trying it out. The best condition in the world, I always say, is nothing to lose. There's nothing to lose for you if you're just trying something out and you're just failing. It's okay. It's okay to fail, actually. And I always suggest that because it's okay to be average also. I was a very average student, by the way, just to let you know. I scored 78% marks in my 10th grade in CBSE and 78% marks in my 12th. So very consistent person, very consistent performer, very average person, and I got selected in the very first attempt. Not that I repeated or anything, no. Within 12th, I got selected in IIT and I was there. So it's more about consistency. It's about what your true potential is. And I was able to understand it. Coming to exposure, it's important that you understand that there are various facets of life, and you go to school, you spend school at least 6 hours plus in school whenever the pandemic is over in a regular world, or if you are studying, you are learning online classes also, then also you are learning. I mean, I'm saying whether you are learning or not is a different ballgame altogether to really question, but the assumption is that you are learning. At least you're listening to the classes. I know sometimes it gets a little boring, and I mean, for once, I would raise my hand at the very get-go that I have not been very honest in the online things, but still, it's like there's nothing else. We all actually are humans, and we have that natural flair of being human. And if we have an opportunity to really, I don't want to coin the word cheat. I would want to coin the word move away from things and just experience. And that's also another exposure, I would say. That's another exposure that, yeah, let's see how online teaching is and how you can learn online. At the same time, imagine that's the challenge for your faculties also, because they cannot see your eyes. I mean, in my one of my discussions with Ashwini sir, actually way back when he was here at Kota, so we have very good friends way back. I was talking to him, and the story was like this, and I used to say, how do you understand that the student is getting what you're saying or not? I mean, you might be thinking, oh, I'm trying my best, I'm giving the exact words that really should alarm a bell in the student, and this is the best that I've taught. How do you decide whether whatever you are saying, the words that are coming out of your mouth, are making sense to each and every student who's sitting in your class? And the answer was very simple. I look at their eyes and I was like, interesting. But now, what to do now? In today's world where we are teaching online, the eyes are not there. So it's now the sole responsibility whether you are understanding the words that are coming out of my mouth solely lies with you. And that's another exposure. Let's see. But as I say, if you start early, at least you will be making a measurable decision whether this thing is for you or not. So for example, you're starting in say class 7 and you are learning the science and you are persisting with the science that is being taught anyway in the school. you have to clear class 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th. So you have to study science. It's not that you can just get away from science. You will be exposed to science. In that duration, you should be able to acknowledge that, yes, I am a student who's meant for science. I have that interesting behavior in me. I'm inquisitive about learning science. And if you are, then you should take science in class 11th. Because again, class 11 science is not the science that is taught to you till class 10th. But yeah, some traces in bits and pieces are given to you. So at least you will understand. And especially the program that we have for you, if you actually are part of it, you are much more exposed to than what you would have been if you were not part of the program. So you already know what's coming your way. Okay, so that's for exposure. The second thing is you would be able to take an informed decision. See, whether you take science, you take arts, you take commerce, you do something else, robotics, you do whatever you want to do, that's fine. But at least you will be taking an informed decision, looking at all the possibilities that you could have achieved in that duration of time itself. So this is another reason why we should start early, so that we can take informed decisions at a later point of time. We adults, this is how we do it. We learn from experience, and this is why experience matters a lot. I have stayed on this earth more than what students have been, and my mother has stayed on this earth more than what I have been. So it's our duty. It's also important that we learn from our elders. We understand their side of view and try to bridge the gap. And believe me or not, this essence, is this experience that they share, comes in handy to us all along. So again, take informed decisions, and you will be able to take informed decisions if you start early. That's another thing. So as rightly said, if we are starting early, these are the most formative years. This is the time that where we would really be able to understand our individuality. That's that journey from my to I, that these are the most formative years. The amount that you learn in these years, the skills that you develop in these years, see, finally, there will be a day where you actually will be going and doing a job, right? But unless you're a faculty, nobody is going to give you a maths paper or a science paper or a physics paper or a chemistry paper and say, hey, solve this paper. No, nobody's going to ask you to do that. It's all about how the real life problems roll out. So this is the problem. This is what you have to do. It's more managerial also sometimes. It's more skill based also sometimes. But as I said rightly, you get an understanding of how you can maneuver the parameters of life. And that's where this is where the formative years really hold the true value and essence of measuring the possibilities. You will be able to understand, okay, I need so and so people. I need to do this task. This is what needs to be achieved. This is the objective. Have I communicated it properly or not? So these are the things that come to your mind when you start working. But if you start thinking about these things right now and try and understand where complex discussions and decisions that you have to take. So if you are learning complexity, the complexity itself is complex in a way where you really would be like, okay, I have to describe that to my friend. Say, so I've learned a complex concept and I have to decipher that complexity and share that with my friend. Congratulations, you are a good communicator because you were able to unravel something which is complex for your friend and help him out or her out. So these are the formative years where we can really understand this feature and really be more effective. The correct word is effective. So that's, and the final best thing, the best shot of not learning incorrectly. So if you learn early, I'll just share one a very important experiment that was done way back in the US. So 100 professional basketball players were taken and they were split into two groups, A and B, 50 in each. So 50 of them were given basketballs and they were asked to shoot the ball in the basket about 100 times, okay? The remainder of the 50, that is team B, were asked to shoot the ball in the basket only 2 times, and 98 times they were asked to close their eyes and think about that they're shooting the ball in the basket 98 times, okay? After that, after everything was, this exercise was done, they all were asked, okay, let's shoot the ball in the basket now. And everybody was given 10 shots. Can you imagine who was better, A or B? You'll be thinking A, some would be thinking B. The answer is they both were equal. The core essence remains, the reason why I'm saying this is, if you are a professional player, you have gone through that drilling, grilling, whatever you want to call it. So you have an understanding. It's all about in the mind. Even if you have not practiced it, you have thought about something, you will be able to achieve because you have learned correctly. If you would have not learned correctly, then this thinking process doesn't help you. It doesn't matter. If you have not learned correctly, it's not going to help you at all because you have learned incorrectly. And believe me, you will be wasting a lot of time learning, but then you'll be wasting a lot of time learning incorrectly, then unlearning, and then finally learning correctly again. That's another problem. Let's the edge that we have to start early, we will lose that edge if we think that way. So that's something that comes to my mind. Let's look at the next tool that comes to the perspective is pattern recognition. This is an interesting one. Someone asked me, Ajay, I think I can look. Okay. Someone asked me, Ajay, what's it in you that made you an IITian? What is that you see that, or you are a national squash player. What do you see? Like, how do you see the ball? How do you understand the core things? And I said, well, it's all about circumstances, and then it's all about pattern recognition. And I kind of read the patterns and I behave accordingly because this is what I've been taught. And I try to solve the problems. And that's what is pattern recognition. The pattern recognitions that are taught to you right now in these formative years, let's take a look. And I'm not here to really barge in with the mathematics and or physics or chemistry, but let's look at it. Okay. So this is a question. It sounds to be very complicated. And these kind of questions are like in mathematics, they're like, oh my God, these are really tough. Actually not, because these require two concepts, and we say conceptual knowledge, right? But these require only two concepts. One you studied in possibly class 5. The second, possibly you studied in class 7th or 8th. That's it. So this question actually involves that only. You'll be thinking, okay, it makes no sense. Literally, it doesn't come to your mind at the first go. And this is the beauty of pattern recognition is you learn something once and apply it everywhere. And that's kind of, if you have seen Mahabharata, so you are like Arjun and you have like a quiver full of arrows. Now it's about, in science, it's about like, which arrow to use when. That's the trick. But this pattern recognition, whatever pattern you are able to recognize and understand, these are like your arrows. And now it's all about, hey, which arrow to use when. I hope what I'm saying makes sense. So let's try to look at this. This is like a very simple problem. If you say, as I said, this requires two concepts. One is divisibility test of 3. I'm pretty sure majority of the students are like, yeah, I know that. And then it's algebraic identities, something like AQ minus BQ. And the formula is already given in front of you. Now, with this, I will be able to solve this question. And you're like, okay. I know these two things, but I don't know what you're talking about. Now, when we are taught, we are given, simplification is the first thing. This same equation which is given, this translates to same thing, AQ minus BQ, which means x cubed plus 1 is equal to 0, which means x cubed is equal to minus 1. Great. X raised to the power of 234 can be written as x cubed into 78. And then the journey is like, this sounds easy. Yeah, the answer is 2. Simple. It was that easy, actually. All you had to do was think in those terms. Now we learned a pattern, just one pattern that, okay, this is divisibility test of 3 and algebraic identities. Great. I changed the question. From this to say x raised to the power of 442 plus 1 upon x raised to the power of 442. Now what's the value of that? Same thing. Same pattern, same thing. It goes on. Same thing. There's nothing much. All I'm doing is I'm applying the same pattern. Same thing again and again, and in a logical sequence. Now, the point is, these bridges, I call these patterns as bridges from what we know as our knowledge versus what we have to do. So these bridges are very, very important. And it's about you realizing and really segregating these bridges in your life. These bridges are measurable, very, very measurable. And these measurable aspects actually define whether you will be able to solve something or not. This is pure educational, by the way. And let's look at another one. I'm just giving you another problem you can try at home. So just increasing it by one more, then what do? It will practically become whatever it will become, we'll see. But anyway, so let's look at another pattern, okay? Can you cut a circle into 4 parts with 2 parallel lines? So okay, some people don't even draw that. Oh, how to cut a circle with 2 parallel lines into 4 parts? It's not possible. Some people don't even draw it. So that's how you do it, okay? And you say, okay, this is one parallel line, this is another parallel line. And you're like, okay, how many of you thinking that this is actually not 4, this 2 parallel lines are cutting the circle into like 3 parts? Can you raise your hand? I can see the 3 parts for sure, right? So the answer is no, that's not possible. It's just not possible to cut a circle with 2 parallel lines into 4 parts. But that actually is a wrong answer. Yeah. Remember the definition of circle? Points which are equidistant from the center, from the loci, and that's how you see the arc actually is the part of the circle. That means these are the 4 parts of the circle. I'll just again repeat the animation for you. Just 1 second, okay? Have a look. These are the 4 parts of the circle. The area that was inscribed between the parallel lines and the circle was never the part of a circle. It's also a pattern recognition. It's all about looking, the same knowledge that you have, the same thing has been taught to you, but did you understand it the right way? It's just an eye-opener for you, like this is how things are. This is what you should have thought. Well, it's not late. Why not? So it's all about how you can transcend in that direction that you understand, okay, this can sound a very tricky area, but again, these are the things where the communication channel, what the person has taught you is correct, but your understanding of the same and application of the same is in question. Again, a process or a program which is disciplined makes sure that you don't deviate from the actual core knowledge. At least it tries to do that. Whether you deviate or not, it's again subjective, but again, we'll look into it. So now what we have covered is persistence and pattern recognition, right? And then I have one more thing for you, procrastination. Now, who all procrastinates? Let's raise our hands. I do. I always make a fool out of myself. So for procrastination, I have a very simple saying: let's not fool ourselves that we'll not fool ourselves. You know, that's the reality. We actually are humans. That's a human nature. We procrastinate. Even adults do. They try to. I mean, okay, your children, everybody does that. So let's not fool ourselves that we'll not procrastinate. But at the same time, acknowledging that I'm procrastinating, that's actually helps me. Hey, let me focus here. Come on, let me not fool myself. I mean, who am I fooling? I mean, I can boast with my friend on the phone saying, hey, have you completed those chapters? Oh yeah, I have completed like 3 days ago. If somebody really asks you, are you really confident that you actually have completed those chapters? We'll be like, let's not fool ourselves. And that's also procrastination, actually. So what you're doing is, yes, you are wavering the confidence of your friend who actually is like he also or she also has not done it. But again, it's up to you. Because what you're doing is, have you really done it? If you have really, really done it, then try to explore the possibilities, try to reach out to the faculties. Sir, are there any questions which can really waver my confidence? Or give me a better pattern to recognize in those dimensions, in those concepts itself. There are endless possibilities, I can tell you that for sure. Okay. I just do not want to take much time actually, and I hope I made sense, because this is just a 1 hour session, and I always feel that there is time where we can discuss more. With this, I always say this: whenever in doubt, rush to the constant. For me, my constant was my parents. For you, also your constant are parents. The friends you choose are not constant. Again, the definition of friendship can vary, but yeah, friends are also can be a constant. Who you choose, otherwise they are acquaintances. Your individuality is at stake. And I have a question for you. One last question, and I think so. Anybody wants to take a guess? What is the constant in this entire presentation? So if you want to speak out, you can speak out. I would request to open the mic. If somebody wants to speak out, I think so they can raise their hands. And what do you think is the constant in this entire presentation, if you see, from the get-go? Okay, go ahead. I think so. I'll just... I don't know. I'm not managing this area. So what do you think is a constant? Okay, go ahead. I don't know your name, buddy. You've raised your hand.
Yeah, my name is Hari.
Yeah, Hari, go ahead.
I saw the constant was the little girl that you showed.
Okay.
That's what I saw.
Okay, that's good. So yes, the little girl was a constant. If you saw, there were different shapes in every slide. We all are trying to have that little girl in those shapes. So we can be whatever we want to be. And that's the constant. So with that constant, the girl, different shapes kind of are overlapping. And there's another constant actually, which is nearly a constant, I would say, in all parameters, just to give you a fact. When we are born, the size of our eyes will really increase by a very small margin by the time we are 20. That's it. I'm talking about not even a centimeter, it's about millimeters. So that's also a constant. The entire focus was in the eyes of the children. So that's another constant here. And that was a good observation, Hari, because I feel that each and every student actually has an individual behavior. It's about time that we talk to our parents, we talk to our friends, and take informed decisions so that we can really achieve our true potential. And that's my request to you all. And I hope, if not anything, if I could just make you ask one question to whosoever you trust the most, that's great. I've achieved something out of this session. So with this, I come to the conclusion of this session. Thank you all, and I'm open to questions if there are any.
Thank you, sir, for the wonderful session. It was really informative and helpful. Now let's listen to the address by respected center head, Mr. Ashwini Sharma. May I invite you, sir, for the same? Sir, please.
Good evening, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank Almighty God. And dear students, there is a wonderful combination here for you, which is offering this session: the Holy Grace, the wonderful teachers, the management of Holy Grace, and the resonance education professionals. And thank you, Ajay Nagar, sir, for the wonderful session. And I would like to add one more point here, that the constant that I saw in your presentation, it is a subtle point that I observed. It's all about my real, what is relevant for me. See, as a student, as a professional, as a learner, this presentation is applicable for all walks of life, I could say. And dear students, I would like to just tell you what I would like to add for you, that what all you need to achieve this relevance in your life is this: you need basically a system, then you need a participation from your side, and then a feedback mechanism. System we are offering, we have already laid out a wonderful system for you. The question that we give you in class, the theory that we give in class and in question papers, they have been filtered through thousands and hundreds of work hours of our professional teachers for so many years and decades. So you are really getting the the amrit, that and participation that we really expect from your side. And then the feedback system, feedback is the thing that what you need to work upon to improve. If you just focus on these three and just give best of yourself to us, and then really you will get wonderful results, right? And I would like to just end my last point I would like to add regarding that. Recently I visited that Auroville ashram in Pondicherry, Shri Aurobindo's ashram. And you know what he said? As a human soul, as a human being, the only that tool that you have is the thought process. And if you just believe that you have a consistent thought with you that you want to achieve, all these procrastinations and everything, they will just wash away. So I would just like request all the students to just like give this presentation like some thought and internalize it and just come out with a wonderful decision. That's all from my side, and I would really like to thank all of you who participated nicely in this presentation. Thank you, ma'am, for inviting me.
Thank you, sir. It's my pleasure to invite our beloved principal, Joseph Alamkal, sir, who is always there to inspire us with his words and deeds. Sir, please.
Thank you, Sonia madam. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. You're clear.
Okay. So anyway, I don't want to add much over here because Ajay sir already gave a nice presentation over here. And only one thing I just want to share with you all, that a little implementation of our resolutions are more important than the grandest of intentions. So what I mean to say that, believe in actions and transform plan into reality. So whatever little plans we have got it, and we need to give a concrete shape for implementing the same thing. And that is the reason that recently, we have come across a superwoman in India, and she is none other than Malavika Hegde, and who could able to transform that all, that her resolutions into reality by waiving off around 5,000 crores of debt when she lost her husband, 2 years before. I'm talking about the CEO of Cafe Coffee Day. So children, only one thing I can tell you that you all are more than what you are, thinking. You can do wonders provided that you have got a proper resolution and transform that into reality. Okay, that's what required in our life, and I believe that all of you can get the help, from your RSO team as well as the Holy Grace. The entire Holy Grace team is also with the children who have got that specific plan in the life. And as far as our promotion of our entrance program or the resonance program in the school, we thought of going to Dubai. Management, chairman, finance director, and Ajay sir and myself. So we already made all the plans, to be a part of that Dubai Expo, Educational Expo, which is scheduled on Jan 20th, 21st, and 22nd. So everything was planned, but unfortunately, due to that escalation there in the COVID cases, they have postponed to February first week, 5, 6, 7. So that is what that we are planning now. Okay, so very happy to see that these many children who have got the real that who are really ignited. They are the aspirants of either JEE or NEET. They are joined over here, and we will be able to transform your hard work into smart work. That's a need of the time. Okay, earlier we were talking only about the hard work, now it is a smart work. And for that, resonance is there and Holy Grace is there to transform this hard work into the smart work of the children. So we all are there with the children. And anyway, that's all that from my side. And I appreciate all the parents and children who joined over here. So in fact, we are expecting more participation from the children, but it is not as much good as it was. So anyway, though the number is less, it's all about that quality that matters a lot, not about the quantity. And I believe that more than this 80, 90, around 90 participants I saw in between. So those people are really committed for the that passion, and we are here to help you to transform this passion into reality. That's all from my side. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for the gentle words you shared. Now it's time for open forum. Dear parents, you can clear your queries now. Parents. If anyone have any queries, you can ask.
പേരൻസിന് ഇംഗ്ലീഷിൽ തന്നെ കമ്മ്യൂണിക്കേറ്റ് ചെയ്യണമെന്ന് യാതൊരു നിർബന്ധവുമില്ല. മലയാളത്തിലാണെങ്കിലും കുഴപ്പമില്ല. വി വിൽ ട്രാൻസ്ലേറ്റ് ടു അജയ് സാർ ആസ് വെൽ ആസ് അശ്വിനി സാർ. അവർക്ക് അതിന്റെ മറുപടി നമുക്ക് ട്രാൻസ്ലേറ്റ് ചെയ്യാനും പറ്റും. അവർക്ക് എന്തെങ്കിലും അത് ഇംഗ്ലീഷിൽ കമ്മ്യൂണിക്കേറ്റ് ചെയ്യാൻ ബുദ്ധിമുട്ടുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ മലയാളത്തിലും ആകാം.
Good evening, the team from Holy Grace Sulas Resonance. My name is Shiv Prasad, and I am the father of Vizundan KS, studying in grade 11E. Actually, my question is regarding the current progress of the activities being done by the school as well as the Resonance to improve the capabilities and the walkthrough of the our kids towards the JEE program. I would like to know whether will you be able to conduct a session with individual face-to-face discussion with the concerned authorities of Resonance, who is responsible for this entrance program, and and evaluate the current where exactly they are standing. Are they in the right track, and what is the exact I mean the in terms of their academic knowledge and the capability to maybe in the next year they need to attend the examination, as far as my son is concerned, and where exactly they are standing and what is their current status. All these things need to be evaluated with a one-to-one section with the parent as well as the teacher, the concerned authority of the Resonance as well as from the Holy Grace. Will you be able to plan that? Because I don't know exactly where exactly my son is. When I ask him about the current status, he's telling everything is going on fine and getting the things done. But I am not getting the, I not exactly know what exactly the current status of the son and whether he's in the right track or not. Could you be able to plan that?
Ramya ma'am, please.
So we can arrange a meeting regarding the same. Anytime when you come here, we can arrange a meeting. We can meet the faculties directly, and you'll be able to know the status of your child.
Yeah,
And,
that's fine. That's fine.
So
I'm in now in Dubai. I'm planning to come next week to Kerala, and you could be able to come over there. And many times I have been there. 2-3 times I have been there on the school to visit my son.
Okay.
But you can also do the session through Zoom meeting. That will
So
be
one thing I would like to add,
now
sir,
everything is
dear
going
sir,
on online now.
hello, dear parents. Thank you. Ritunandar is my student. I saw him in my class regularly. He's a wonderful guy. First of all, I would like to ask you whether you are aware of something called SAPER. This SAPER is an academic certificate that Resonance offers. It can be downloaded from the website, which shows the regular test performance of your children, right? So first of all, I would like to ask whether you have exposed to that. And
Yeah,
secondly,
I have seen his status, but we need to have a little bit more something more to see the current status and the scenarios going on. Whether the kid is able to grasp the thing and whether he is somewhere he is lacking, or additional support is required for some areas where he need to improve his knowledge base, or his thought process in a right track or not, needs to be analyzed properly along with the kid as well as the concerned authorities, the faculty members. Then only we will be able to get, because now it is almost we are at on the last phase of this academic year, and they will be able to get the online class. I mean the offline classes, maybe 2 or 3. I think hardly 2 months. He joined the school offline in the hostel in the first week of mid of November only, and later in the month of December he has to go for a vacation for Christmas, and now again because of the COVID status, the class is going to be online now. So in this scenario, we have to really evaluate the current status of the kid, whether he is in the right track or not. You can even plan the online meeting. That meeting should be regular, maybe not in once in a while like that. Maybe once in a month you can plan it to the individuals. And because we are hoping a lot. We are actually investing a lot as well as expecting a lot. And the time is also very important, and the effort which is being made by your team also is great. But we need to see exactly where exactly we are standing and what exactly we can do to improve the current status if it all is required.
Yeah, wonderful, sir. So I not only you, sir, I would like to request all the parents who are already there, who are not expressed their views. Whenever you feel this kind of need, you always reach out to us, and we can always have a Zoom session, or let's say some WhatsApp call, whatever. Because let's not wait for someday some session will be there and then you will express your grievance like that. But you can always, like, we are always available. Teachers are always available. Even if you drop a message, we will reach out to you. And regarding this child's
Sir, unfortunately,
needs.
I am sorry to interrupt you. Unfortunately, this particular interactive session, so the communication is not that much conducive or productive as far as me is concerned. So far, I have seen like that. This has to be made more conducive and productive in such a way that it will be beneficial for all.
So I would like to ask you one more thing. We have circulated 3 student satisfaction surveys from parent sides and student side. Did you have the opportunity to participate in that and comment on that?
No.
Like they were in parents group. They were shared. Like we have been having these surveys regularly for the past 2-3 months.
I couldn't. I am in the parents group, but I feel I have seen that.
That's one. We have to accept one thing, that when the child comes to our Holy Grace and Resonance, he's in our observation for, let's say, 7-8 hours, and for the remaining 10 or 12 hours, 16 hours, like we have to make sure that he's utilizing his time judiciously. So it's like
actually,
that.
Sir, I am not doubting about your effort and or the support you are being done, but we need to have a productive and more the transparent, and it should be all visibility should be more, so that we all will be able to understand where exactly he is standing.
Yeah,
so that
actually,
effort, I hope you have to take from your side. I have come across over there 2 times in the month of November and December, and I could able to meet all the kids over there, and they are all well and doing highly energetic, and everything is fine. But individually, if you speak, I am sorry to say that I am not able to assess whether my kid is in the right track, whether what is his current status, whether he'll be able to grasp how much percentage of the input which has been given to him. So I request you, instead of waiting for the feedback from our side, of course, the feedback is also a good tool to get the inputs. I request you to do a session.
Sure. Sir, we are noting it down. Remember, please kindly note down, especially for Ritunandan. Sir, definitely. Sir, we have to take other parents' queries also.
There is
sir,
no issue for us. Now
surely we'll do it.
Everything is online, and we can see the things from the comfort of our home, and that will be. It's not for blaming anybody, but it need to support our team, our kids. And
yes, sir, we have noted it down. Ramya madam, please write down.
Surely we'll reach out to you, sir. Within a week, we'll reach out to you. Have a session like that. Other parents,
thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. If any other parents, if they have any queries, you can ask now. Parents, please. Livia ma'am, can we?
Yes, please continue, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you all. Now let me invite Ms. Mary Sheena, Faculty of English, Holy Grace Academy, to propose the vote of thanks. Ma'am, please.
Thank you, ma'am. Your past is not your potential. In any hour, you can choose to liberate the future. A warm and graceful evening to one and all. It's my privilege to propose a vote of thanks and acknowledge the contribution of all those who participated and coordinated for the success of the webinar. First of all, let me extend my warm gratitude to our Honorable Chairman, Advocate Clemens Thotapalli, and the Board of Directors, who always prove that strategic wisdom is an integral and multidimensional intelligence. Thank you all. It's my pleasure to express a deep gratitude to our respected principal, Joseph Alum Kalsar, and our Vice Principal, Livia PV Ma'am, with whose leadership and guidance we may reach the next level of glory. Thank you, sir and ma'am. On behalf of everyone, let me extend a warm gratitude to the distinguished resource person of the day, Mr. Ajay Nagar, Vice President, Resonance Quota. So please accept our sincere appreciation for the valuable insight about the topic. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
May I delightfully thank Mr. Ashwini Sharma, the sender head, and the entire Resonance team for the guidance and the support provided. Thank you all. I'm thankful to all the section coordinators and also Ms. Ramya Palakal, Resonance Coordinator, Ms. Shonika PG, Science Faculty, and everyone who has supported for the effective coordination of the program. Thank you all. Further, let me express my sincere gratitude to all the worthy parents and loving children who have made the session meaningful. Thank you all. Let me conclude by a quote. Do not let the memories of your past limit the potential of your future. Once again, thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am. Everyone, please rise for the national anthem.
अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
भारत माता की जय.
Jai.
I conclude by a quote. Limitations live only in your minds. But if we use our imaginations, our possibilities become limitless. Thank you all. Have a fabulous week ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Good night. Okay, good night, all of you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you,
Good
sir.
night. Good night.
Good job, Sonika ma'am, Sheena ma'am, Ramya ma'am.
Okay, Mr. Medicina, Sonia, okay, did well.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Ashwini sir, thank you so much. Please convey my regards to Ajay sir also.